Yo, what's up gamers? Welcome back to the channel. And today I have what is probably the dumbest man-child on YouTube. And I'm talking unemployed and living with his ex-girlfriend kind of man-child. Meet Peetz, the self-described streamer, if you could even call it a stream. Peetz is a simple man. He loves talking about Star Trek and My Little Pony. But if that wasn't enough man-child for you, he also has very colorful political opinions that he would love to be heard by the masses.
People need to wear fucking masks. People still need to wear their goddamn masks, freak. No stopping with the masks. Wear your goddamn masks, people. How much longer? Probably a good few more years, given people still don't wear their fucking masks.
And if you couldn't already tell, this guy just gets all of his opinions straight from Reddit and Twitter. So let's jump in and see what this bum can teach us about the way the world works. Starting with his fears of his favorite social media platform, Twitter, being owned by someone he doesn't like very much.
And I talked about this on Twitter. $44 billion? Are you fucking kidding me? He has $44 billion fucking dollars to spend on his fucking ego?
No, he doesn't have $44 billion. He had to finance the deal. Because unlike what you may think, billionaires do not have all their money wrapped up in the savings account. The vast majority of their net worth comes from ownership in their company.
That is an utterly obscene amount of money. It is an obscene amount of money.
Well, yes, he's buying an entire company. Did you expect it to be cheap?
And the amount of good, $1 billion is beyond our comprehension.
$1 billion is not beyond anyone's comprehension. Well, maybe beyond your comprehension considering you have to live with your ex-girlfriend. And also because you have no job.
The sheer amount of good that he could do with that amount of money, and he spent it on that shitty fucking bird app?
What gives you the right to judge how other people spend their money? When you literally have a My Little Pony plush. Nobody
even actually enjoys being on Twitter. It's the weird thing. Nobody actually likes being on there. It's better than any of the alternative social media.
But isn't that the reason he's buying it then?
So much good that he could do, and he's chosen not to. He's choosing not to do good at this point.
But isn't improving the quality of Twitter and making it more profitable a good thing? And also, why does he have to do good with his money? He earned it, therefore he gets to choose where it goes.
Not too long ago, he was talking about, if you can provide a plan for how I can use $5 billion to solve world hunger, I'll do it. And, the World Bank provided him, I think it was the World Bank, provided him a plan.
Well, for starters, it was the United Nations, not the World Bank. And secondly, it was a terrible plan. The plan called for $3.5 billion for food to be distributed, and another $2 billion for food vouchers. So no, this was not going to end world hunger by any means. As a matter of fact, it would just be a glorified food pantry. Governments around the world have been spending trillions of dollars every year just to keep their own citizens fed. $6 billion isn't gonna magically end world hunger.
No, James. What Elon did is, and this is what I was just talking about. Elon said, hey, if you can provide me a plan for how to solve world hunger, I'll pay for it. He was provided a plan.
Yeah, bad plan.
He just never fucking did anything. He didn't bother. He used, here's how you can use your money to solve world hunger. And he just never fucking replied to it. Yeah, it's just... The guy is just fucking awful.
Oh please, a plan that bad doesn't even deserve the light of day. The United Nations solution was literally to just throw money at the problem and hope it goes away. And once they inevitably run out of money, they'll come crawling back to Elon Musk for more. Later, Peetz was asked why it's Elon Musk's responsibility to give money to food pantries. And this is what he had to say.
With great power there must also come great responsibility. This ain't fucking complicated.
Jesus man, calm down. I had no idea Elon Musk was Spider-Man. This changes everything.
Like, honestly, like, oh, why should Elon Musk spend his money to help people? Because helping people is a good moral thing to do.
And he's helping people by improving a service they use daily. This ain't fucking complicated. But you know, his lack of understanding or basic research isn't gonna stop him from holding fringe political beliefs about American politics. And what's especially not gonna stop him is the fact that he's a Canadian.
Hey, you don't understand the elected. You don't understand this. It's so complicated. It's so hard to understand. You're not smart enough to understand the fucking electoral college. Fuck off.
Spoiler alert, he's not smart enough to understand the Electoral College. Or anything for that matter. Now watch as a Canadian fails to understand the workings of the American federal government.
How the fuck does that work? Explain to me how that is fucking democratic.
Well, thanks for asking. There's often a misconception that the American government is a democracy, when it is in fact a constitutional republic. The system was designed so that the states would be ultimately responsible for choosing the president, while at the same time acknowledging a popular vote. The Electoral College is what resulted from this. It would be the states that vote for the president, and the amount of power the state holds is based on the number of people living in that state. For example, a populated state like California has more electoral votes than a state with no one living in it like Wyoming. Remember, it's called the United States, not the United State.
Explain to me how that is fucking democratic. That the person who loses, the person who gets the fewer votes, gets to be the one in power. And gets to declare, oh, I have a mandate from the people!
Because they get the most votes in the Electoral College. And again, America is not a direct democracy. But I also have no idea why you even care, because you live in Canada, not the United States. But being stupid is not the only thing Peetz has going for him. He also has severe anger issues.
Christ, just fuck off, spammers! I fucking hate spammers! That is the thing that pisses me off the most. When people just post the same comment over and 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 over. Anyone who is still a fan of Alex Jones after fucking Sandy Hook bullshit is an asshole who does not deserve to have their opinion heard on fucking anything. They fucking don't! It's not a fucking bill! Melania, you fucking idiot! I'm not talking about the fucking bill, you clueless dumbass! Pay the fuck attention to what I fucking say! Holy shit!
And just a little fun fact for you kiddies, this guy worked at a call center for the better part of a decade, so at least he wasn't a complete burden to society. But if you want to know who he hates the most, look no further than the Republican Party of the United States of America. Which again, is weird because he's Canadian.
Jan, if you have to go back 150 fucking years to prove how good the Republicans are, I would say the repeal isn't Ginsburg's fault. The repeal is the Republicans' fault. That's the fault of the Republicans, because they've been...
If you want to know who he hates the most, take a look at late night host Bill Maher.
I don't like Bill Maher because he is an asshole. Bill Maher is the kind of... I mean, for one thing, he sees politics as a game, as a sport.
Hate to break it to you, pimp, but it kind of is.
And I mean, that's part of it, but he's also racist. Horribly anti-Islamic. Just horribly racist towards Muslims. Racist towards black people, and Latinx people, and Latinx people.
Latinx?
And with just one word, Peetz has destroyed his reputation among Latinos. Great work. Now, Peetz's hatred for Alex Jones doesn't stop him from having his own conspiracy theories. Just take a look at this.
Sosuke, I do not believe for a second that Donald Trump is worth $1 billion. I do not believe that Donald Trump is worth $1 billion.
I have to give Peetz credit on this one. He's actually correct. Trump's worth $3 billion.
And I believe that the reason Donald Trump never released his tax returns is because he didn't want people to believe. or he didn't want people to know that he's worth less than $1 billion. That's my belief. That he is actually, I mean, he's in debt, almost certainly.
Or maybe he just doesn't want people to see his tax returns because it's not public information. Like, would you want people to know how poor you are? But regardless of whether or not he releases his tax returns, it's pretty well known that he's a billionaire. And then there's one more thing you need to know about Peetz. He's trans. Or soon to be trans. You see, he's not trans yet, but he wants to be a woman, so, you know, feel free to interpret that however you wish. Peetz especially cares about this topic, so much so that he's willing to misrepresent history just to feel some sense of validation. Case in point, Dr. James Barry. And just as a heads up, the quality of this next clip is significantly worse than all the others, because this livestream was done on his phone. This is because apparently he has no idea how to fix the internet connection between his computer and his router. It's sad, really.
Trans people have been around. Yeah, so Dr. James Barry, right up until the time he died, he was maintaining that he was a man. And, like, in his will, he wanted to be considered a man. At no point did he ever indicate that he felt like a woman. Ever. Even after his death, he wanted to be remembered as a man.
This is Dr. James Barry, also known as Margaret Ann Bulkley. She attended the University of Edinburgh after her failed career in tutoring. At this time, women were not allowed to attend university in Britain. Because of this, she had to use the name James Barry and present as a man so that she would be accepted and be allowed to attend. This was also true of the British Army. She eventually joined the army in 1815 as an assistant surgeon, and was eventually promoted to Colonial Medical Inspector in 1822. This was after a potentially scandalous relationship with a South African lord, after Barry had treated said lord's sick daughter. During her time in South Africa, Barry had improved sanitation and water quality, as well as improved treatment for slaves, prisoners, and those suffering from leprosy. She also performed one of the world's first successful C-sections, to which the baby was named in her honor. She would continue to improve conditions for many people on the Leeward and Windward Islands, and finally in Canada until her retirement in 1859. It wasn't until her death in 1865 that it was eventually discovered that she was a woman. As a matter of fact, it was even claimed that she had borne a child. However, this was never proven as there was never an official examination. What eventually linked James Barry to Margaret Ann Bulkley was a letter from her university
For his entire life!
Jesus, no need to yell, you psycho.
His entire fucking life! Up to his death and after!
Actually, in a letter addressed to her older brother, Barry explicitly states that, was I not a girl, I would be a soldier.
In all his papers, in all his writings, in every conversation he had, he always wanted to be seen as a man. That's how he wanted to be remembered. He didn't want an autopsy done after his death because he didn't want people knowing that he was assigned a woman at birth.
And that's because if word got out, her reputation would have been destroyed. Because this is the early 1800s we're talking about. Additionally, the enemies she made during her time could have used it to undermine her work and potentially reverse it.
He was a trans man.
No, she was not.
Anyone who says otherwise is wrong.
Well, I guess the word of Peetz must be better than any historian. So I'm sorry, I'm wrong.
Anyone who tries to say that Dr. James Barry was a woman is being transphobic with it.
Yeah, that's right, I'm not giving a proper account of history, I'm just being transphobic with it.
They're doing it as a way to erase the existence of historical trans people. Because they're transphobic shit sacks.
Yep, that's right, I'm erasing the existence of non-existent trans people from history. You know, all because I'm a transphobic shit sack. In reality, you are the shit sack for altering the history of this woman just so you can feel better about yourself online. Well, gamers, today we learned that we shall not call into question the divine authority of our god King Peetz, the pre-diabetic brony from Canada, who knows all and sees all, a man that has no life experience and yet is somehow qualified to dictate to the rest of the world what should be done. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you somehow enjoyed this video. It would really help out the channel. And if you somehow agree with any of the points I discussed, well, you know what Peetz would say.
Welcome to Bandland Epic Urethra Gaming.